Hello and welcome to the Uplift. I'm very glad you're joining me today. I'm glad that we have this opportunity to come together and just share a bit and be in the wholeness that we are. So please join me as we begin in prayer. Recognizing right now that Spirit is present, always is at the center of everything and every moment and every heart. And so I know that we expand our ability to tune in to that which Spirit is communicating all the time. Those qualities that it wants to have us enjoy and express. Love and joy and wholeness and abundance. That all of these things are the gifts already given by Spirit to us. And so I accept that we become even more receptive to the good of God that wants to live our lives, express as us and through us. So I bless this intention and I bless this time together. I call it good, and so it is. So here we are. Do you ever find that you have moments when you just know? You just get it. Every part of your being just resonates with some truth that you feel from the inside out. Have you had those moments? I know I have. It's just something just says, yes, this is it, this is right, all barriers gone, full steam ahead. So what we call that at times is intuition. And intuition is, at the highest level, of course, something that is known, felt, realized, appreciated, but without really proof. We don't always have proof when we have those, what we call intuitive hits. They come to us from something within, from something that feels like it's just truth. So remembering a time when that's happened for you, I know there's times that's happened for me, I just knew. And what we want to do is to honor that. And I want to talk today about ways to honor that, and also ways to double check, to double check. Because after all, the part of us that is intuiting is also blended in there with our experience, with our state of mind, with our beliefs, and maybe even with our biases. So let's look at intuition in its pure sense, and let's also look at some ways we can be careful and cautious that what we're feeling and thinking and believing is really intuition. So the best way that I know to be aware is to spend some time listening. And I mean, of course, inner listening. We do that through quiet times. That's where intuition wants to gently tap on the door and ask gently to be allowed into our awareness and into our consciousness. We call it sometimes the still, small voice. It's always speaking, but we need quiet in order to hear it. And sometimes that quiet comes in meditation, and sometimes that quiet comes when we're not thinking. Maybe we're even doing something else. Maybe we're having a meditation called our shower, or we're having a meditation called our walk, or maybe just being in nature and seeing a flower and something just connects for us, that we're present, ever so present. Not distracted, not thinking about a million things, but just home to ourselves. So we enjoy those times, and we want to enrich the ability to listen through our spiritual practice. So whatever you're doing that's working, please keep doing it. Spend the time in the quiet. Jump out there in nature. My place is to go to the ocean, and when I go to the ocean, God speaks. God speaks to me through the air. Sometimes I just do an aroma meditation. It's all about the sense of smell. Sometimes it's through the sounds. Close my eyes and hear that scene. Just hear it. Nothing going on, no thoughts, not even distracted by what I see or what I hear, or excuse me, what I see or what I smell. Just that sense. So we have all this opportunity to use the things that work and to use that as practice. So by all means, whatever's working for you, keep doing it. And if you need additional support, that's what Vision's for. That's what we keep describing, ways to get more in touch with the God presence. So practice new things, and please be gentle. If you practice something new and you say, well, wait a minute, I'm not hearing the voice of God, loud or quiet or still or noisy. I'm not hearing it. Please be patient. Please be patient. It's a practice. That's why they call it a spiritual practice. So try something new. Continue doing what you're doing. So what I want to just turn our attention to a bit is to have this idea that when you do feel that, when you do experience that intuition within you, to give yourself a little space. In other words, do something, I guess I'll call it hit the snooze alarm. Pause. Double check. Ask yourself. Be with yourself. Where is this coming from? Just ask once again. Just touch the snooze alarm. Be with that belief, that thought, that intuition. Be with it for just a bit more to double check that it's truly coming from your highest wisdom self. Do y'all remember that commercial years ago, probably in the 60s? It was all about these recordings, and those of you who say, what is this cassette tape she's about to describe? There were little gadgets that actually recorded messages. It wasn't a cell phone, it wasn't a fancy computer, but it was these little cassette tapes. And so there was a company called Memorex. And Memorex wanted to let us know that the quality of their cassette tapes was so good, it was just as good as real. So that's the question. And their slogan was, is it real or is it Memorex? And that's what I'm suggesting we ask ourselves. Is the thing that's coming from my intuition, is that truly it? Or is it not? Is it a kind of a tainted version, or a little bit of an overlay, or something I hope for? Intuition is there in a very pure way, and we want to keep listening for it. Keep asking, is this true for me? That's the question. Is this true for me? So in the commercial they would play Ella Fitzgerald singing a very, very high note, and she would break a glass. That was real life demonstration, or an example of how her voice had that amazing pitch, and it would actually break a very fragile little wine glass. And then of course they would play back the recording on Memorex cassette tapes, and it would also break the glass. So that was the test. That was to be sure that the original experience was actually still happening. So I'm suggesting that. So you can use the Memorex example, you can use the snooze alarm, but to go ahead then and run that by. Run that by. Make sure it's coming from the highest wisdom self. The other thing about intuition is, have you done this? I know I have. I'm with someone and I get this hit, intuitive hit, and I think I know. Oh my gosh, it's so obvious what that person is thinking or feeling or believing, or absolutely I know what's right for them. I mean, after all, I didn't think it just came to me, and I want so much to tell them what's true. Once again, it's very possible that my filters might be in the way. Not just in the way, but just there. So I want to encourage myself, and I want to encourage all of us to take a moment to not impose, but to question. Here's how it might sound. So I might say to my friend Lori, oh my gosh, Lori, when you were talking just a minute ago, I just got this feeling, and it was kind of weird, maybe a little off the wall. May I share it with you? And so Lori says to me, yes or no. If she says yes, I want to present it as something kind of weird, something kind of call me crazy. And I might even say that, well, call me crazy. But it occurred to me when you were talking that this is something that might fit for you, or that maybe this is where you could go to get that information you wanted. Just random. Even the times when we just know, we just know what that person needs. We feel like it came straight from God. Well, perhaps it did, but let's have the courtesy with one another to check it out. Does that make sense? To just ask, is this something I could share with you? Primarily because we want to be respectful of one another. We want to not overlay or override people. Asking someone, what do you feel from that? What do you know? What do you know right now? My favorite question, what do you most need right now? That eliciting is so much more powerful often than that overlay or that imposing of our intuitive hit. So, be in the space. Be in the space more often. Be in communion with Spirit. Spirit does want to speak to us, and really does speak to us all the time. So our part in that is to be receptive. Our part is to listen. And then our part sometimes is to just pause, run it by again, check a little deeper. Be present with what came through, and find out if in fact that is your direction, spiritual direction. And then of course move forward. And then with other people, sure, we think we know for them, but let's take another pause, or ask, may I share what just occurred to me? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And even when it's a yes, we simply tentatively, assuming we could be spot on, we could be off base, but tentatively sharing what we've intuited, if that's even a word. So let's close our time together, anchoring this concept of intuition, and let's just spend a little time in prayer. Starting this prayer, of course, with gratitude. Gratitude that we have the capacity to ask, what would you have me do, Spirit? What would you have me say? Where would you have me go? How can I be my best today? What's mine to do? What thoughts will guide me this day? Where can I be of service? We take these questions into our meditation. We live these questions, and then we wait, and we listen, and we hear what we hear. There's no insisting that God responds in any particular time or way. I know it's possible, is it not, to ask a question, to simply be in the question, and then be delighted when that response, that intuition comes along at sometimes even a surprising moment. We're so grateful that we have this capacity to ask, to be receptive, to listen, and then to act according to that guidance. We're so grateful that we can take the time we need to double check, to be aware that we do have filters, that we do have ways we can perhaps confused ourselves with our mind, our mind's best hope for us. And we know too that we tune in to others in such gentle, respectful ways. Most importantly, knowing that their guidance and their intuition is foremost. We allow all of this. We are grateful for all of this. This is the life that we are here to live, one in union with our highest wisdom self. So I'm so grateful that that's always operating, that we have the capacity to tune in, that we have the capacity to verify, and that we have the capacity to share compassionately with others. So grateful for this good and so much more. And I release this now with joy in my heart, and so it is. Once again, we're so grateful you come to enjoy the Uplift. We've been doing this for a long time, have we not? Starting probably back in March of 2020. And those of you that have been attending and then enjoying this, thank you for your feedback. Thank you for Reverend Patty's brilliant, loving idea to share the Uplift with you and with me on a daily basis. So we're here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Please enjoy. Please come back, and please enjoy your instinctive, intuitive, and beautiful selves this week. Be well.